Liberians in and out of Liberia by sharing their successes, challenges, entrepreneur endeavors, and much more with the intent to inspire other upcoming changemakers. The 1847 show also promotes the Liberian culture by creating a space for individuals to learn the history of our nation, to find solutions to problems that affect our country today. For this and much more, stay tuned for all things Liberian. We'll be right back after this short break.
Hello, my name is Grace Choma Baba, founder of Destiny Creative Organization and owner at Janice's Snacks. You are watching the 1847 show. The 1847 show celebrates you, me, and all things Liberian. Follow the 1847 show on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube. The 1847 show, all things Liberian.
Hi guys, I'm Levine and I'm an independent artist from Liberia, West Africa. And being an independent artist means I get to run my own affairs, sponsor my own music, pick my own release dates. So, not to waste your time, I'm gonna go straight to the point. I'm trying to raise $5,000 to promote 2 songs over a 3-month time span. And I'm asking that you help out in any way you can. One of the songs are playing in the background right now, so that means you're one of the first persons to hear this. The proceedings are not just going to go to the promotion of these songs, it's going to go to helping the underprivileged in any way I can. And everything is going to be filmed and posted on my social media. So please help out. Thank you.
You got something that I need, baby. You bring light to my soul. Nobody does it like I do. You already know. Can't get enough of you.
Welcome back. You're watching the 1847 show, and this is season 1, episode 15, which is part of our series called Digitalized Liberia. The series highlights individuals solving real problems by integrating technological solutions to make Liberia a digitalized nation. Digitalization can offer numerous benefits to a country like Liberia, including economic growth through the expansion of the IT sector, healthcare advancement through telemedicine and digital health records, education through online learning resources, data-driven decision-making to allow the government to make more informed decisions in public policy, amongst many others. Our guest today is Mr. Olano T. Bloh, a visionary leader committed to Africa's technological transformation. As the CEO and founder of TIA Innovative Tech, he has pioneered initiatives that bridge the digital divide, offering free online computer concepts programs to participants from 22 countries. With a rich IT support and network management background, Mr. Bloh's expertise and passion continue to drive his company's mission to democratize access to tech knowledge and uplift communities through technology. So thank you guys for joining us today. We're going to bring our guest on board. Mr. Bloh, how are you?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you just fine. So thank you for accepting our invitation and more so for being on time and being ready to go. So you're currently based out of China, is that correct?
Sure.
Okay, awesome. We'll talk a little bit about throughout the interview, but just tell us, as a student being in China, what has been your experience, and what led you to that.
The experience is wonderful because there are a lot of things that I've learned and a lot of things to be learned. So it's a wonderful journey. And I think what led me to this journey was the quest for further education. Because back in Liberia, I was into the corporate environment, but then I saw it as a need to further advance myself and not just be complacent and content to what I have around me at the time in Liberia. So it was more of like an opportunity for me to reach out here, like I am now, to explore and meet new minds of people and diverse, diverse group of people as well, and to at least learn something that probably I've not learned or seen before.
Copy. So you have a personal quote that says determination plus hard work equals success. So
Sure.
part of how you got the opportunity to be in China, tell us how you were able to use that mentality, to use that quote to motivate you on a daily basis to get you where you are today.
Determination plus hard work equals success. That code was taken from the time I was in the elementary. Um, that was the that was the code of our graduating class at the time when I was in sixth grade. So since then, I've upheld that code, and it has been working very very much for me. And probably people that I've mentoring, and they have also subscribed to that code. It's more of like giving us that motivation where we have to set our mind to something, be determined to achieve certain thing, and then work towards it. Because sometimes people believe in luck, people believe in though connection also work, but then you have to be prepared for that connection. Because if you know me, for example, and then you want me to do a certain piece of job, but I'm not ready or I'm not capacitated to do that job, uh, the connection is a waste, or I cannot prove you right in the eyes or in the face of those people you're recommending me to. So I think we have to be determined as a nation, as a people, and we have to work very hard as well in achieving whatever we ought to achieve. Because it's there are a lot of us, we have many plans. Almost everyone, if especially on a New Year's resolution, New Year's Day or New Year's Eve, we all have a lot of great plans, but then we are going again to another new year. And some of those plans have not been executed by many of us because we have not worked hard throughout the year to making sure that that's achieved, what is done.
So hard work, determination plus hard work equals success. So when are you going to
Sure.
take ownership of that? Because someone has to, when we reference that quote, we need to put a name on it. So are you going to take ownership of that?
Sure, definitely, definitely. So far, I think so. I'm the only one having that online.
Copy, copy. Awesome. So let's talk a little bit about your company that you run, Tia Innovative Tech, which you founded in 2018. So how has the vision of the company evolved over time?
It started since 2018, and when it started in 2018, from 2018 up to 2022, basically what I was doing was to build a platform where people can see or get an idea as to what TIT is all about. And it's more of like a technological institution. So at the time, what I was doing was producing educational videos on different things within the ICD industry. Some videos will be on Arduinos or IoT, some videos on networking, some on programming, some on automation, just videos within or things within the computer industry. I was just trying to make tutorials, uploading them to the TIT YouTube channel, and also here in China, we also have this app called WeChat, and they also have a channel embedded into it. So these videos will also uploaded into the TIT WeChat channel, and that way people started to learn and started to follow and get more involved. And with time or time passes by, in 2022 we started to hit the wall. We started to hit our community with many programs because at the time I couldn't just. I felt like people just reach out to you, or probably my computer has issue, or maybe I need to understand these things about computer. I need to understand this thing. I alone, I felt like my network was expanding, and as such, didn't want to be in a position where I have to be reached out to always. But then create a kind of a training or a platform where people can just come together, and then we give them different topics and different things within the ICT industry, and then they can be able to learn. And once they have the concept, they can be able to expand by going into that specific discipline. So it could be about networking, it could be about programming, it could be about big data, cybersecurity, networking. Just once you have the concept, now you can be able to explore and get more. So that way, if you're reaching back to me, now you are coming back with a specific need or request. You are not coming probably as a novice, but then you are coming as somebody who have started something. That way, I can be able to have limited request because more people have already getting the basics.
Right. So would you say a part of the reason you took that approach is understanding that, hey, me as an individual, I can't help everybody, and there needs to be a
Sure,
location where people can go to and get that help?
sure. That
Awesome.
was it because there are a lot of people that I'm connected to, and as such, even if the refrigerator even spoiled, it was still they will still reach out to me or try to hear what I have to say about it. Though they felt like everything tech, I have knowledge to it, and some of these things I don't have. So what I have, I give, and I felt like it was time that I incorporate other people, bring in other lecturers and speakers that are vast, knowledgeable into certain discipline, and
Hmm.
they can also share their experience. They can also share their expertise, and then that way, at least they can learn what I know. They can also learn what other people know, and then that way, we can be able to at least reach out to more people.
Right. So I know Liberians, of course, are part of those who benefits from your program and your initiative. But do you have any physical operation out of Liberia?
No, for now, there's no physical operation out of Liberia. It's something that we have in plan, and it's good that China probably has not opened to students and to people coming back into the country. And also, as of this semester or this year, they are eradicating the thing about online learning. So things are going to be offline. I've had a couple of the volunteers and other people asking me how things are going to be now. They want to have offline trainings and they want to have offline sessions. So it's something that we are working on, and probably we're going to have different trainings, at least in different regions. But then I have to find the right people to work with in different countries.
Awesome, awesome. Of course, whatever we do overseas, whatever success, we want to bring it back into our own country. So glad to hear
Sure.
that that's part of your plan. So tell us, your company's mission is to democratize access to tech knowledge. One way you do this is by offering free online courses. Can you explain any other strategies that you use to help accomplish this mission?
One way, when we started, the first one was in 2022, and the first edition was the winter's edition. At the time, it was the very first one, so we had like 70 participants, and then we had four speakers, including myself. Um, so at that point in time, it ran for a week, and it was more of like the first trial. So how we can be able to run this thing? How can we be able to reach out to many people, and how can we share our knowledge? That was more of like the first try to understand how we can go about it. And fortunately, that was very successful. It was very successful, and that motivated us for the next run. And in the same year, in August, we had the Summers edition. And the Summers edition, we had up to 242 persons coming
Wow.
on board from 18 countries. Just the first edition was like 70 person, but the second edition it was 242 persons. And then since we had that vast number of people that joined the program, I intended to have at least more speakers. So we have up to 13 speakers from different disciplines in and out of China, in and out of Liberia, all around the globe. We have different speakers that facilitated that edition. Uh, it became more interesting because I, for one, I was as well learning in different platforms in how we can be able to do even the public city, how we can also do the arrange the speakers timing and the speakers schedules and even the participant as well, how we can reach out to them, all of that. There was a lot of things to learn throughout the session. And with time, we have had a fourth edition last month, and every edition is just getting interesting. It's getting more and more interesting because even on the third edition, saw it as a need through one of the volunteer recommended that now we are doing this thing. Let's try to make a way that people can be able to verify their certificate, or people can be able to verify whatever credential we are giving them. So I thought about it, and then on the third edition, while the edition was going on, I hurriedly just went and just think about something. So I incorporated certificate verification on TIT's website. So on every certificate that we issue out at the end of the program to qualify a participant, it should be noted like everyone will attend the program, but not everyone will get a certificate
Right.
because the program is free. And as such, I thought it was like, okay, since it's free and many people don't like free things or they like free things, let's try to make something that can attract them or make them to take this seriously. So on the, I think that was a summer edition, you have to attend at least 5 of the 7 days. That way you can be able to get a certificate. And even on the third edition, we incorporated group projects. So we have, because we have different topics, so we split the participant into different groups. Some go into cybersecurity, networking, big data, and all of that. So at the end of all of the speakers or lecturers sessions, these participants go into various groups, and then they go and make their own research from what they have learned from the speakers, and also go online and find whatever they can find, and then form our own PPT and just work in a team, because it was more of like giving people that environment where they can be able to work with other people, they can be able to learn from other people, their own their friends and other colleagues and people from different places that they don't know. They can be able to work with them, and we give them the platform as well to present whatever fundings they gather. They were able to present those things at the third, I mean, at the sixth and the seventh day of the program. So it just getting interesting with new ideas, new innovation, as TIT is the name, with new innovation coming up every edition. We just try to make it better.
That's good, my man. So, how are you able to attract not just the participants, but also the speakers? How do you get these speakers interested in speaking at this event? How are you selling this vision to them?
Someone even asked that there was an AGLO conference, one of LUN is more of like a love umbrella network operated by one Dr. Vita. He's a Nigerian, but then he's here in China. So he collaborated with TIT on the AGLO program, and then he was asking me, how do you get your speakers, and how much do you pay them? So I was like, it's free. It's I don't pay them, and then these people that I'm inviting on board are mostly people that I've worked with when I was in Liberia, and when I've been out of Liberia. These are people that know me for what I stands for and for what I have contributed probably to them and to the organization that we all work for.
Mhm.
So I just reach out to them because I know their expertise. So I don't bring people on board. I don't bring speakers that I don't know, or probably that don't make a great impact in their domain. So
Mhm.
I bring people on board that have vast experience to whatever they're going to talk about. And these people, I don't pay them. It's more of like I'm inviting you probably to probably organize one. So it's like the relationship that we build from this program or even before this program, I use that relationship. So
Networking,
that's
yeah.
how, yeah, that's how I get the speakers. So sometimes if I'm running out of speakers, like on the, I think it was the second or the third edition, I was looking for the female speaker because at the time I wanted my supervisor, who is a Chinese lady, I wanted her to speak, but then she was busy, so I was looking for a female speaker to at least to have a gender balance program.
Hmm.
So it was very tough. So I reached out to one of the speakers that spoke on the previous edition, and many people have reached out to as well. If you know any person, any lady that is into tech and all of that, that is good, can you please recommend? So I was able to get Masa Weeks. I think she's the deputy IT director for I think gender ministry. So I
Hmm.
was able to get her. So that way I use other people to get other people. So I tell them like this is it. You already know what this platform is all about. You already know what we do. So I need somebody with that skill set or that experience to serve as a speaker. But most of the people that I work with since I've started are people that I know, people that are friends to
Believe in the
me,
vision,
and
yeah.
yeah. So
Awesome.
that's how I get them, and I'm just grateful to all of them. Some of them that are following that will follow later. Thank you so much for your sacrifices, and that's why I issue out certificates to each of them at the end of the program, as well to at least appreciate them and to make them to understand that what they have contributed to is not something they should overlook, but it's something that is making a great impact. And they are always happy and always willing to come on board. But at least I try to change them on every edition, so I don't want to repeat them.
Right. So that's awesome. And I think that's just goes to show the power of networking, right? So as you
Sure.
network, you expand the people you know. So whenever you need those assistance in this area, you have a vast network that you can pull from. And even if they're not in your network, well, if you have a network, somebody in your network might have somebody in their own network that you can bring into your network. So
Exactly.
it works and it's amazing. So if you're watching this, learn from his story and utilize the power of networking. So you never know what role somebody will play in your life. So if you're at a professional event, don't just keep to yourself. Talk to people, meet people, tell them what you do, learn about what they do, and be genuine about your interest in them. So tell us, you guys do a lot of trainings and you're in the tech world, and one of the industry that is rapidly changing at a very fast pace is tech. So how are you able to offer trainings and resources that is relevant to the fast changing industry?
So I try to look at the latest trends of event, and that's why on the last edition, I brought up one of the speakers who is the founder of Unpack AI, because of recent artificial intelligence has been taking the entire internet with ChatGPT, with Bing
Absolutely.
AI, and all of that. So I saw it very necessary that on the last edition we had last month, that at least we have a topic or a lecture on artificial intelligence or a chatbot system. So uh, that was done, and I invited one of my friend from Europe to Ada to speak on that, and at least people had that interactive session with him on what is all about this AI and how they can go about um, with the AI system and ChatGPT just introducing it and then giving them a. I think some of them their minds were built up like they wanted him to even go at least slower, but then he introduced a lot of AI system and a lot of things that is happening around the world of artificial intelligence. So we try to find things that are trending, the technology that is trending at the moment, and then we dive into that. So even big data, um, I had Degonti Kopa. I think probably you might know him, or maybe he's going to be one of the person I'm going to reach out to you for.
Maybe if I see
He's
a picture, maybe I might put a name to it, but just the name, not currently. No.
Oh, okay. So he spoke on big data, though he was in the cybersecurity, but then there was another person who was also speaking on cybersecurity. So he spoke on big data at the time, I think on the second or third edition, because at the time big data was another trending topic in the industry. So we try to see what is trending, so that people from there are many people in Liberia that don't know about AI or what is happening. And then I feel like many of these international conferences you have to pay to attend.
Hmm.
You have to, and then it's very costly. Even some of the organizations that I'm in, though I'm a member, but then it's still costly, even for the member. So for a student or for someone who just coming up, we want to give you that environment where you can have the same thing for free. So instead of you spending a lot of money and probably you will not even have air ticket to go for that conference, we try to give you the conference for free or the program for free. So that's one thing that, because I realized, and I was discussing with someone, especially for us in Africa, we come out of high school before we get to dive into where we want to go. Our
Hmm.
career path is not even defined when we are in high school. Probably you go on, maybe it's registration time, and then you go on your campus. Maybe one of your friend that you're closer with is going to sociology. He tell you probably, oh, it's quick to graduate from that college, or probably things are not really difficult in that college, and then you just go and register there. So we have lost probably many people that could be uh, um, neuroscientists, people that could be medical doctors, people that could be, just different things. Now they are no longer probably one of Liberia's best, or that could have been one of Liberia's best scientists is now probably into sociology.
Hmm.
Though it's not a bad fee, but then that person has been diverted because there is no mentorship program, there is no guardians, career guardians to tell you like, oh, if you get into this fee, this is what this fee does, this is what this fee does. So if someone have that concept, if they know that networking is all about internet, is all about connecting devices and people and places, now they understand like, okay, this entire computer thing, now I know that networking is this thing. So if I'm having interest in internet stuff, networking is my direction.
Right.
If I want to develop application, if I want to develop software, I know that programming or software engineering is my direction. So that way we give them the platform where even if the person is in high school and they are attending our program, the moment they get out of high school, they are not moving into that field. They are not going to be driven by just someone who they just see on the wayside doing registration, or probably someone telling them like, oh no, I think probably auto mechanics is making more money now, but then you don't have a projection of what will happen in the next 10 years or 5 years with auto mechanics. So that's how we try to make the program, at least giving people the opportunity, because for us in Liberia and Africa as a whole, we we don't have that direction. Maybe for other African countries, they can, if you reach in senior high, especially for the French speaking countries, if you reach in senior high, you're going to do something like, maybe you go into the sciences or you go into arts if you want to do that. So the moment you get out of high school, you are going, your strength is in the sciences, so you go into engineering courses and stuff. But that's not the case for Liberia. So it's difficult. We having people that are just all crowded up into one place doing something that they don't love. So you have someone who's doing probably public administration, but then he really don't love it. So you cannot have that innovation. That person cannot be innovative into that field because he just there. Like there is no passion. Even to go to class is even you don't have that joy to go to class the next day.
For sure, for sure. Because none of it is driven by passion. It's just a lot of societal forces that are driving people to make decisions that their heart doesn't really settle with. So, absolutely. So, from the programs that you guys have, how are you currently managing how effective it is, how impactful it is, so that you keep providing relevant information to people or relevant training to people?
So at the end of the program, we open up the platform to the participants for them to give us their feedback and recommendation, of which I've cataloged a lot of them. I say all of them that spoke on the Just End the program. They gave some recommendations on how we can improve. They gave some recommendation on how we need to make the next edition. So that's one way um, that we try to make the program better by taking the words from the people that are attending the program. So at every registration, we try to ask you if it's your first time joining the program, and then we try to make a survey to know if most old people are still coming back on board or we are having more new people. So we do a lot of survey and get some feedback. That way, it help us to know what next to do. Probably if we need to incorporate more of group projects or we need to bring more speakers, because like the last time we had a third edition, most of the speakers or some of the participants were like the speakers don't have much time to speak, because I remember on the from the third edition backwash
Mhm.
was having like two speakers per day or per session. So after the first speaker, another speaker will come in. So probably you go for 45 minutes or you go for an hour, but then it was not sufficient for someone to demonstrate, especially the guy that was speaking on cybersecurity. He needed to first do the theoretical aspect and then comes to the practical aspect. So time was not very, very sufficient for him. And time is very, very important to me. So even if they don't finish on time, I try to at least have the program to end so that people can respect the time. But then it was a feedback that we got that we needed to expand the time or either reduce the speakers. So instead of having 13 speakers, I reduced the speakers to five on the last edition and then gave each person a day so that they can have much time to explain and do whatever they have to do. So we try to get feedback here and there from the speakers, from the participant, and at the end of the program as well. That way is helping us plus our own thoughts and ideas and see how we can make it better.
That's awesome. Who best to give feedback than the people who actually have gone through, right? So that's
Exactly.
powerful that you
Exactly.
guys are not only requesting it, but you're making the necessary adjustments. Because a lot of times, what we see leaders doing is giving that persona of wanting to receive feedback, but then in the background, they're not even implementing those feedbacks. So very great on you to
Sure.
take those feedback. I'm sure you're seeing the benefits of it. That is, bringing a lot more people on the platform. Because now it's really have been drawn and crafted for the individuals that are benefiting from it. So that's pretty awesome. So now for people that are watching, which we have a couple people that have been following, and you can see the comments on the screen. But for those people who are watching and are interested in participating in any of your programs, what guidance or what advice would you give them so that they are able to maximize the intent of the program?
First thing, one program is coming up. We will do probably a 1 month publicity or maybe 2 weeks publicity. That way, we give you the idea as to which topics will be covered on that edition, the speakers that will be speaking, their backgrounds. We also give you their profile. So you have all of this information, the date and time as well. You have all of this information, and then you can make an informed decision. Um, you can make an informed decision from there. Also, it's advisable you go and visit TIT YouTube channel, TIT Facebook page, and TIT group page, and then you can see like all of the sessions we have had. They are all recorded and they are all shared on all of our social media platforms. So if you go there to just enter program, you will see from day one to the six or the five or the seven. You can go and watch all of the from start to end. You can see everything and then you can follow through. That way you already know, maybe you can have an informed decision from there. But then once registration comes up, we also try to incorporate in the registration instruction to give you a chance of choosing a preferred um, lecture or fee. So if you are interested into cybersecurity or into networking, IoT, big data, you have to select that in the registration. And then what we do, we place all of you into one group so that when it's time for group projects, you are working only with people that have interest in big data. So networking people have their own group, and all of the groups are on WhatsApp. We have a WhatsApp page or platform. We have a Facebook platform, WeChat platform. We have YouTube platform. So they are all there. If you visit our Facebook group and Facebook page, you can be able to join other of the groups. I'm available always online. You can also reach out to me if you have maybe doubts and then you need a clearance or direction into what you want to do. I'm always available.
Okay. So there's no limit on how many people can join the each event, right?
No, there's no limit because what we do is even if the numbers exceed, we try to incorporate another platform. Like I remember we had more than the numbers we intended the last time, and then what we did was to bring in two platform and we have to relay the program on the other side. So you find out that some people will be connected to Zoom, and then some people will be connected to Tencent because we want to give everyone that chance of attending the program, of learning something, because the program is conducted twice a year, though we have maybe regular videos that have been posted on different topics or different things, but then the main program is conducted twice a year, and we try to do it in the winters and in the summers break. That way, people are off their regular
Schedule.
classes, so they can have ample time to pay attention to whatever that will be going on, and they can also at least during the vacation you can be able to obtain at least a certificate or learn something. Um, that way, it is what it is. That's how we take it out from
That
there.
that could improve their resumes too as well. Because
Sure,
uh,
sure. Because after you leave, after you leave high school or college, they're asking you for 15 years experience, 10 years experience.
yeah.
You
So
have
that's
no, sure, you have no way of telling the people what you have learned, maybe, or what you are capable of doing. So at least these programs help to grow you. It also helps to give you a network because the group you are in, there are different people that you can be able to link up with them. Even the speakers, they also share their profile and everything. You can be able to link up with them, and then who knows, you might like the last program we had. We have one of the speakers who will be needing other people to work with him. So it's an opportunity for people to be able to get work. And even on the, I think it was the third edition, we had an internship offer from one company. They wanted 5 persons, so they reached out to us, and then during the program we announced that, and those people were also selected. So it's more of like you come for the program, but then you also get job opportunity. You also get scholarship notification on. I think I also share one when my university was putting out a scholarship. I
Mhm.
took a time on the platform as well to let them know about the scholarship, and I even provided my personal information for them to use as a recommender,
Mhm.
which is an added advantage to your application. If you apply
Right.
in my school and then you use my name, that's an added advantage to you. So it's not just about the program, but there are other things within the program that you can benefit from.
So, for the internship opportunity that you mentioned, for example, since considering you guys are doing this online and people are coming from a lot of countries, is it like an online internship where they're going to be working for this company but from online, like virtually or
Yeah,
remote?
so I also asked that question at the time we received the offer, and both offer was provided for those that are out of China. They were also given an opportunity where they can work, I think, for 5 hours a week, but then they will just give you the tax. It was basically working on the system was basically online, so you still have the chance of working remotely. So that was provided for both people. If you offline or you online, basically in China or out of China, that offer was suitable for anyone.
Anyone? That's awesome. So we're at the midway point of this, and we're going to take our break shortly and try to come back for the rest of the show. So if you guys are watching and if you already haven't followed the 1847 show yet, you're wrong. So please go ahead and follow the show, and we have a lot
Sure.
of interesting coming, interesting content coming for you guys. So please follow. Of course, we have one more question for you, Mr. Bloh. So tell us, you deal with a lot of countries, 22 countries to be exact. You've impacted people in those nations. What are some challenges of success you've had expanding your network that wide? Because it has to come at a cost as much as it has benefits. So, what are some challenges and what are some success you've had dealing with that number of countries at a time?
Like one of the challenges working, especially if you are out of China and then you need to connect to probably some of the platforms that we use for the classes or the trainings. They cannot connect on this platform because of some restrictions and too many verification processes, and some of them are not adequate to these technological tools. If it's the first time joining the program, they don't have vast experience to navigating a way around these various platforms, and also working with people or getting people from different countries, sometimes language barriers. So, like even the last time I have to enable automatic caption or translation in different languages for certain people that could not understand English better, or probably the speaker was speaking so fast and then they needed a way in which they could be able to understand the person. So these are some of the challenges. But when it comes to the progress or opportunities that we get by getting people from a different countries, I think it's important that they get to understand like they themselves can even run these programs in their country. They themselves can even start an initiative of such in their country. They can also collaborate with TIT to conduct trainings or recommendations or even provide technical guidance to them. I think it's a way in which we are selling ourselves out there, and we are also making people to have that courage and that motivation. Like if this person can do this, I think I can also do, or probably um, maybe I can also work with this person, to have something of such in my country. So it's more of like the way Chinese says gonna is like a win-win situation. So though sometimes it's not they say win-win, but then there's one person who's getting more more side of the more
Right,
side of
right.
the deal.
Right. So awesome. Thank you. You've provided us a lot of great answers and a lot of great information on what you guys do. We appreciate it. We're at the halfway mark, like I said. So we'll take a short break. And then for you guys joining us, if you already aren't following the show, please follow the 1847 show. We're here to promote all things Liberian. So that's from the IT sector to politics to the government to the citizens to social work, whatever it is, whatever industry that we need to highlight the amazing things that Liberians are doing, we're there. So if you have anyone that you think needs to be on the platform so we can interview them and share the work that they're doing, please reach out to us through any social media, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and we'll be more than happy to bring them on the platform. So stand by, we'll take a short break and we'll be right back.
Hello, my name is Grace Joma Baba from the Girls of Destiny Charity Organization and owner at Janice Snacks. You are watching the 1847 show. The 1847 show celebrates you, me, and all things Liberian. Follow the 1847 show on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube. The 1847 show, all things Liberian.
Hi guys, I'm Levine and I'm an independent artist from Liberia, West Africa. And being an independent artist means I get to run my own affairs, sponsor my own music, pick my own release dates. So, not to waste your time, I'm gonna go straight to the point. I'm trying to raise $5,000 to promote 2 songs over a 3-month time span. And I'm asking that you help out in any way you can. One of the songs are playing in the background right now, so that means you're one of the first persons to hear this. The proceedings are not just going to go to the promotion of these songs, it's going to go to helping the underprivileged in any way I can. And everything is going to be filmed and posted on my social media. So please help out. Thank you.
You got something that I need, baby. You bring light to my soul. Nobody does it like I do. You already know. Can't get enough of that.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the 1847 show. I'm your host, Prince Larmin Jarbo, and this is season 1, episode 15, which is part of our series called Digitalized Liberia. This series highlights individuals solving real problems by integrating technological solutions to make Liberia a digitalized nation. Our guest today is no one else but Mr. Olano T. Bloh, who is the founder and CEO of TIA Innovative Tech. So we're going to welcome our guest back here. Hello, sir. Can you hear me?
Yeah, sure, I can hear you.
Awesome, awesome. Welcome back. So, any feedback so far?
Uh, yeah, I'm reading the comments here, and yeah, I think it's going great.
Awesome,
It's
awesome.
after it's almost 2 o'clock, midnight China time, Sunday morning. So
Yeah.
yeah, here.
And that's one thing I really have to appreciate you for. You guys are 15 hours ahead of my time, and I believe 8 hours ahead of Liberia's time. So just to give you
Yeah.
guys an idea of not only is this person willing to do this, but the level of commitment to even stay up this late to be on this interview. So thank you for that. Thank you for the sacrifice. I know you could be sleeping right now. We really appreciate it. And that really goes into my next question here. So you have a lot of passion for Liberia. You're driven by the fact that you want to see some of the challenges like poverty and the things that Liberians experience. You want to see them eradicated. So how does your endeavor with your company? How are you helping to transform and address some of these issues like poverty and innovation?
So I believe if the minds of young people are geared toward technology, we can have a better a better society. A better society in a sense where innovation can now be the latest news, the latest G's, or the latest thing that is going around in the country, where somebody is going to say, "Oh, you know, uh, I'm developing this application or I'm developing this software that's going to be used probably for buying and selling things online in Liberia, or somebody's going to be working on another website that is used for for research purposes and stuff. So if we are having more people that are doing these things, for example, Olano is doing this TIT thing. There are other people in Liberia as well doing similar thing. If we have more people, then we have more competition. That way, you give more people the time not to be on the street, not to be too much into the Atai shop, or maybe just into somewhere where they are just talking about politics or something that cannot really be effective, or that cannot really drive the country um, faster when it comes to development. But then we are having people that are now making impact. So TIT wants to mold the mind of people. TIT wants to put people in a position where, if you are introduced to, for example, programming or software development, the very first time you read your code and that code runs, you want to also stay there and write something else or to modify it. So the more you are there, the more time you are spending, the more time you are learning, and the less time you are out there on the street doing something that you are not to do. The
Hmm.
less time you are out there just wasting those energies and everything that you have with something that would not really benefit you and all of that. So if TIT can get people into that environment where they can see themselves as developers, as innovators, then Liberia can start to take a new shape. If we take the US and China, for example, there are people here in China who don't even know their province leadership. They don't even know who's probably, let's say, representative for their district or province and what have you. Since I've been here, I don't even know who's the leader of whatever place. Even if they are constructing maybe stadium or building bridges, when they are dedicating these projects, you don't even see the president. So because there are so many great things to celebrate or to achieve, then somebody just going to cut a piece of rope over one 2 meter river or something breach, just put plywood there, and then that become an entire ceremony, and somebody feels so complacent and so happy about these things, and the thing is development. So we are having a lot of people out there that are not actually making maximum use of their time, and if we can get them to the environment where they can be able to sit down and start to think critically. That's why people have problem with those out of Liberia, and they say sometimes you guys behave like you alone know all, or probably only you guys love Liberia. There is a difference because you are exposed to something new. You are exposed to, something that is progressive. Somebody's not just going to say, "Oh, leave your project you are doing and go and stand on the street to say vote for me, or maybe I will give you one cup of rice, or I'll give you one T-shirt if you vote for my party," because you have something to do. So even the person that's coming to talk to you, they know who they are going to talk to. That's why even if they are bringing you on board, though your friends are there, but they are bringing you as a leader on the team. They are bringing you. There's a difference among you and your peer. The moment you start to sit home, take your computer, go on YouTube, learn how to code, learn about networking, learn about cybersecurity and all of that, the time you start to do that, you start to see yourself thinking differently. You start to see yourself moving in in a very, very careful path, because you see a very bigger picture about yourself, and you start to see people that are making those changes around the world. You try to dive into whatever they are doing. So TIT just want a more amount of people, so that we don't think that politics is the only way forward, so that we don't think that, just sitting probably and just discussing Cristiano Ronaldo and Lionel Messi is the way forward. Because for Liberia, even country like Sierra Leone and Ghana and stuff, these guys have made massive progress over Liberia. And it's very shameful at times when we are out here and we are discussing with some of our friends from these countries, and then we cannot even point out the things that is tangible. So it gets us in a position where we have to work hard, we have to innovate, we have to organize programs that can be able to at least make a gradual impact. And if we all can start, Olano will be into tech, you will be into having this show, bringing people that are, showcasing talents and all of that. That's what you are doing. So if you make people to see those that are making impact, it's very necessary, because at least somebody know that there's a Liberian person that is into this.
Hmm.
So your part is very important. My part is to organize the program, people learn. Somebody else is out there, their part could be maybe doing voluntary job in the community, clean the community. Somebody could be about helping the less fortunate people out there, maybe with whatever basic needs they have. We all get to work. We all get to work. Find something that you can do that can be able to make a difference in your community. Find something that you can be able to do void of the government, void of politics and stuff. Find something that you can do that at least tomorrow somebody can say, oh yes, because of this person, probably this community have changed. Because of this person, probably my life have changed. So when we sit down or when we are in that environment of quietude, we should be able to ask ourselves, what can I do? Because obviously, if you look at Liberia as a whole, don't expect Liberia to actually do much for you. We are at a point where we all have to gather around and do something for Liberia. It could be very easy, like
No, I will
something.
stop you. I will stop you right there just to add this quote. So my favorite quote of all time is from JFK, John F. Kennedy, who's the former U.S. president. He said, "Ask not what your country can do for you. Ask what you can do for your country." And that's exactly what you're saying. People keep expecting the country in the form of Liberia, in the form of the government, in the form of other people aiding Liberia. Stop asking those things, right? And ask, what, as a citizen of Liberia, what can I do for Liberia? That's the thing that we want. That's the message we want to promote. So I just wanted to highlight that. But go ahead.
Yeah, sure, it's very important because if you try to just sit and think about what Liberia can give you, obviously you know within yourself that nothing. You have to push very hard. We all are not like people in the West where you grew up in a family where everything is already established. We are coming from families and homes that sometimes we are now becoming the breadwinner. We are now becoming um, that agent of change. So we have to work. We have to push very hard because if we just rely or just be complacent, the surroundings or the environment we are in is going to tear us down. There are a lot of our friends that probably don't want to see all make progress and stuff. They just want to get us. We just go and maybe watch movie the entire day, or maybe just go and just do things that are not making impact. The moment you realize probably you are already 28, 25, 30 years, and nothing you can really show off. So I just encourage everyone out there. If you are a mechanic, or maybe you are a medical doctor or whatever you are, just try to find something that you can innovate. Try to find something that you can be able to use to make a difference in your community. So maybe if you are a medical doctor, though you are working and all of that, but you can have a little maybe a group of other medical doctors or other people that you can be able to nurture those that want to get into healthcare, or those that want to understand about medicine and all of that. You can try to give people the idea of what to expect so that if they want to go into the medical field, they know exactly where they want to go.
Right.
They want to go as a brain scientist or surgeon or whatever it is. They have an idea. They are not just moving here and there because our system is not giving us this opportunity to differentiate or to set a career path. We have just one state-run university where everyone is just jam-packed into, and things are not as they ought to be there.
Right.
So we have to now decentralize ourselves into different fields, into different domains, and see how best we can take Liberia very, very fast and far. So there are a lot of things we have to do, and we all have to start gradually by doing something. You and I, just making a difference. Because TIT is obviously coming to Liberia, and when we get to Liberia, we want to have a Liberia where we're going to make people to develop interest into technology. We're going to make people to find a path, the career path into technology, because we are all into technology. So for me, my contribution is all about technology, and I think technology is something or is one field that is taking every nation on a fast trajectory. Development is coming through technology. By the time you realize things are moving very fast, if we can have a national or maybe platform of of money transfer and all of that. Like in China here, where they have this WeChat thing, people don't go to the bank. Imagine this population that is here. If you go to the bank is always free. No one is standing on the line and queue waiting for their salary or waiting for this. People can transfer money on their phones here and there and make transaction and make deals and all of that. So we can have a national application that can be used for such purpose. The banks are not going to be crowded, or you're going to have people buying and selling things maybe from their homes. So things are going to start being decentralized instead of everyone going waterside. People are going to start, you know, moving differently. And if we have this kind of a platform, there are a lot of great people. I think I was watching one of your show, where you was talking. I think you was introducing. I think it was one of the guys who doing online market, and he was
Easy
asking him.
market.
Yeah, I think I went to watch that show
That's
to
Chris
see how
Jones.
your
Hmm.
yeah. So he was explaining those difficulties and stuff, but then he's doing that thing. So if we can encourage him, or we can have other people that are coming into social feed. It's very important. It's very important because the US and other countries, people are doing these things, and you just buy a food, it come to your house, or you buy things, it come to your house. But then not every time we have to go waterside, and then you have to be jam up, maybe Zoko is checking your phone or picking your pocket and all of that. These things can be eradicated just by the fact of all incorporating these technologies. I don't have to go that day. I'm to my house. I just order my things. It comes to my house. That's Zoko that should have checked my phone on the street. He will not see me out. He won't. He
And then
wants to not go for
those
that day.
guys, I believe they're even offering 24 hours delivery now. Like if you order the thing, you can get it within 24 hours. Now, food, of course, has always been like that. If you order food, you can get it the same day. But now they're doing it to where it's anything outside of the food, you can get it within 24 hours as well, as long as you order by a certain time in the day. So that's how much they're
That's
advancing, and that's the pace at which they're moving. But definitely understand your point of one way we can eradicate poverty, one way we can promote innovation is by keeping Liberians productive. And what that's going to look like is different from one sector to another. And we have to understand that we all have individualized roles to help with the collective effort of promoting our country. So your role is what you need to find out, find a mentor to guide you and see what you want to do. Don't base your interest off of what other people are doing. So we've talked a lot about what you're doing through your company. Let's talk a lot about a bit on the bigger scale of Liberia. So taking the concept of digitalization to the country as a whole. Let's talk about some of the benefits. So going from innovation to job creation and e-government services, which you kind of touched on a little bit. So considering the high level of unemployment, how do you think that a digitalized Liberia can help transform innovation that promote entrepreneurship?
so one thing is e-commerce.
Hmm.
If we can have a lot of, I know in the beginning when I was even listening to the show the last time on Easy Market, and then with this thing of smart AI coming up to scam people and all of that, which is going to drive more people uh, maybe away, or the trust have to be rebuilt if people are coming up with this online platform and system in Liberia. Trust have to be rebuilt, but I think we can start from somewhere, and then that can take a trend. So e-commerce, for example, number one, like in China here, I'll make an example of where I am, so that to tell you that these things are working. They have delivery for whatever thing you buy, anything you need at any point of time. Even like now I'm on the show. If I'm hungry after this time, I can even order food, and it's going to come. So I don't have to worry about some basic things. So the e-commerce platform, we can have buying and selling of goods. So most of the time, people that are in China that are buying clothes and whatever, they are not going to shops and stores to buy their clothes. So you just sit in your room, and then there is an app that you visit called Taobao or maybe Pindodo. You can go there and just order whatever or buy whatever thing you have to buy, and within 3 days or less than 5 days, your thing is going to come to you from whatever part of China. So if we can have that, people in and with the road connectivity, I think probably that would be another challenge for those in the hinterland or the other counties. But we can start from Monserrado, Magibi, and these areas that are around that have roads connectivity and stuff, and try to make a delivery. So if you have a shop or maybe your online shop that you are buying and selling things or delivering things, you can just limit the regions to Fresley, Monserrado, Magibi, and other places to serve these people. So if you start to generate more, then you can expand. So I think we need to have an e system on banking and finances where people don't have to go and stand. I don't know if they still do it in Liberia where they go and pay school fees to the bank and then they have to go and get maybe salaries and all of
Gradually,
that to the
it's
bank.
being reduced for the most part. So the utilization of mobile money is very heavy. And then you have platforms like TipMe now, where they are being incorporated with a lot of services, DSTV, schools, and a lot of other bills you can pay using those platforms. So the demand for these e-services are much greater than before. So a lot of the standing in line and those things have been cut down by the introduction of a lot of these services.
Yeah, so that's welcoming because we if people coming out from the diaspora, it's always their focus point on if they can get the same services when they come home, most especially security. So that's one thing also we have to look at. Maybe having a system where we can be able to do active monitoring or maybe installing cameras here and there on the streets and rural communities. But then that one is more of like something else. But I think we need to go into e-commerce and into mentorship programs and technical schools.
To help with the unemployment.
So
Yeah.
sure. So if we have, for example, like maybe you having a one shop that you are just delivering maybe popcorn or you are just delivering maybe rice or whatever it is, you need people that will put in the order. And you also need to have these back routers or maybe yeah, basically these bag riders are the one moving things faster here in China when it comes to fast deliveries. So you can have bag riders now that you're going to be working with, or if you can have your own bags, you can just hire riders that's going to be delivering the food or whatever thing you are, if it's clothes or whatever thing you are delivering, you can have people now delivering these things. So you are creating, this platform is there where everyone in the country is going to the bar, and then you also have people that are delivering these things to them, and then you have different substations where people can go and pick up these things. You also have people there as well working there. So I think from that first point in time, you are already creating uh, jobs for those that are delivering, those that are at the various station, packing these things in different orders and sequences. There's a way of also creating job for them. And then if we have as well different sites, maybe we can have one center. I think people, some of these guys in the, I think, Letsu and all of that were advocating for a Ministry of Information Science and Technology. And
Hmm.
I think we need to have something of such on an organization or an agency or a bureau that is just specialized in development of national applications and systems.
Mm.
So, like we were discussing before even the show started, this WeChat thing is more of like a national application. It's not just something that anybody can just use and just scam people or whatever it is. So the government is more of like um, in connection with Tencent company, and they give it more relevance. So almost everything is done there. You can transfer money, you can receive money, you can chat, you can call, you can text, you can transfer files and pictures and videos and all of that on that app. So if we can have such a national project, the government for an individual you can be able to do it, but then it's going to be costly for an individual who probably is running his own thing, and then he needs a lot of resources. You might have the technical expertise, but then deploying that app might be a challenge.
Right.
So that's where you will need to have maybe other uh, um, state officials as well coming in to partner or to sponsor the idea. But then I think the government can also help um, to make that possible. Where we can have a national application for these things to be running. We can
So
have a national.
not to cut you off, but I want to incorporate this into your answer. So because it kind of flows into my next question here. So we have the idea of e-commerce, which is more so on the civilian side of things. Now, taking the same thing, how necessary do you think it is for the government to have e-services? So e-services being people can apply for these different things like birth certificates. They can renew their annual licenses for nonprofits, whatever the need might be for the government to offer those services online, where people don't physically need to go in person. What do you think the need is for that, or how much of a need is it, and what does the government need to do to bring people up to the literacy rate to know how to use those platforms?
So that's very essential. Like here, if you want to do probably your residence permit or process your visa and stuff, the police have an application where you can just go in and book an appointment. Even if you want to do medical, you just go and book an appointment, put in all of your information, and then your appointment is booked for that day. So if we want to get also maybe like birth certificate and all of that, the ministry can also have a dedicated team for promotions and all of that. Maybe have they have national televisions and programs and radio so they can also go on this platform and share the message. They can also make use of the social media. Many people are also on Facebook and IG and all of that. The ministry can as well take or make use of this platform to share their ideas of whatever they are doing. So if they have maybe for example the transport ministry, people are doing plates, lesson plates, and all of that. If they need to renew their plates or maybe purchase a new one and all, register their vehicle and all of that, they can have that system as a national one or something that everyone can go to instead of passing through somebody office. You have to take that person out to at least one office, take another person. So we can have uh, each system or each ministry or agency can have a proactive, maybe promotional team, and the government as a whole can have one division or ministry for developing these apps or these systems. So they have a centralized management. That way, we will not be because when it comes to the also cyber implication of these things, the also cyber implication of these things because if we are having all of our systems and things being managed and monitored by a third party or another country, then it becomes a national situation or that's a security concern. Many of our agencies or ministries' website and all of that is being hosted by third party.
Mhm.
So that's another question or another debate or another topic or discussion for another day. But I think we need to have the ministry have a budget. If a ministry wants to, maybe for example, commerce ministry, if they want to maybe try to monitor maybe the expiration date of products and all of these things, they can have one system where all of these shops that they have registered, they all can be able to monitor and make use of. We all that are selling things in Liberia can have one platform where we can be able to meet and discuss and share um, our goods and services there. We can also enter out of the ministry and all of that there. We can solve other common problems there. So I think we need to dive more into e-commerce and digitalizing our governing system. That way it can help to move things faster instead of us doing the manual thing. And then sometimes some of these ministry will have them, but
Mhm.
the maintenance is another problem because during the time of this Ebola and all of that, there were a lot of NGOs that came and they did a lot of great jobs in Liberia. But then after they left, these things were not maintained, and so we need to have trainings if the government can say, okay, we're taking 10 persons out of Liberia to just go and learn about software development, or maybe those that are already learned, maybe
Hmm.
within the country or out of the country, we are just getting them, but then they are going now to just develop, work with other people that have already done it, maybe the US or China, and see how China did theirs.
Right.
So the exact people that did these things, we are sending our representative there, let them go and learn these things and build similar system for Liberia. We have wasted a lot of money on in for different projects in Liberia that make no use. If we can invest this money into training these people that can develop these systems for us, it's our own.
Right.
It's our own citizen, it's our own system now. We are we have the expertise, we have the manpower that can be able to deploy these things. They can also be able to manage these things. They can be able to maintain it and even do a whole lot. We don't have to, if solar system or maybe street light is off, we don't have to wait for one Chinese man to come back from China to come and service the street light, because we have people that we have trained to manage these things, or to develop these things for ourselves. So I think government should focus more on trainings and sending people to get idea on building systems, or working with people that are already into this field. Maybe, for example, TIT could be another organization that can partner with maybe Ministry of Education. They can also TIT can also partner with other institutional high schools, so that they can provide that technological guidance for people in high school that have interest in technology. So TIT can be able to provide that career guidance for those that have interest in tech. So the moment we are people are leaving out of high school, they know what they are going to do. They have that clear understanding about the specific discipline or area that they want to dive into when they come out of high school. Somebody might also be into maybe auto mechanics or maybe journalism or whatever it is. They have that specific area they are going into. So when we are coming out of high school, we are not just all going to UL or maybe UMU just to just see anything there and just take it and go with it. So let's have more of these mentorship programs, partnership programs, trainings, and I think it can help. It can help us to
For
make
sure.
that change that we really want to see.
And the e-commerce and the e-government services are equally important because they all promote that digitalized Liberia that we want. So you
Sure.
cannot have a well-rounded, equipped economy if you're only focused on the e-commerce side and not, the e-services as well. So very good points there. Thank you for sharing those. We have to invest in our own people, send them overseas to get those specialty, and to have them come back and invest in our country to create the continuity for that maintenance that you're talking about. Maintenance and accountability are some of the things that we struggle with. So when those people come back, we need to have a team, a dedicated team that will be swapped out every now and then, just for the purposes of training people to make sure that we have people trained well enough to be able to fill those positions as people are moving on. So very, very, very valid points. Now we're at the end of our interview. Just want to ask you, my man, you speak Chinese, and I wanted to give you the opportunity here to let your fellow Liberian people hear what Chinese sound like from another Liberian. Uh, I wouldn't say I've heard a Liberian speaking Chinese. So if you can, just maybe just introduce yourself and say one or two things about your business in Chinese for us, so that we can hear you speak Chinese, my man.
Uh, but the difficult part now is the audience you are speaking to, if they can understand. But then let's take it in this way. I'm going to say ni hao, meaning hello or how you doing. So if I say ni hao, then maybe I want you, so you can serve now as the audience since we cannot reach out to them. Let's take it off from there. So ni hao means hello or how are you. I
Okay.
think those that are in China and following probably is going to be
I
funny
knew
or
I
interesting
know
for
that
them.
much about Chinese, ni hao, from when I was a kid, so I know that much. So yes, I can act as
So
the audience.
Ning Jiao Shama Menzi,
Ni hao.
Ni hao. Ning Jiao Shama Menzi. So how do we call you, or what is your name? That's what I'm trying to say.
So when
So
you say
Ning
your name, do you
Jiao.
have to translate that to Chinese as well, or can you just say your name?
Chinese, they will also try to find syllables that matches your name. But if you don't want to put your name into Chinese, or you just want to give it like that as it is, that's cool. You can go over it. But I think almost 95% of the international students in China, their schools have given them Chinese name.
Mm,
So almost everyone in China have a Chinese name. So they try to find the syllables that matches your name, at least that way, because it's. I think they find it difficult pronouncing the native name or your original name. So they want to find a way that is much more suitable to them. So they try to break it down into, yeah, into these things. So
mm.
that's how it is.
The
So
people in
when
the
I'm
comments here, they're speaking Chinese too. I know who
Yeah, I
asked
think
that.
many of these people here, they are in China, though I cannot see their name. I think many of these guys are in China.
Uh,
Uh, 你什么名字? Maybe
mm,
你什么名字 is more like a colloquial Chinese.
mm.
你叫什么名字? Because Jiao is like call. So if you put the Chinese into direct translation, it's funny. So Ni means you, Jiao means call, right? Shaman like what or how. Menzi means name. So you call what name? If you do direct translation, Ninja or Shama Menzi. So you call what name? That's what they're trying to say. Like, so now if you flip it other way, like how do we call your name, or what is your name? So
So
Ninja or Shama Menzi.
to not translate Chinese directly is one of the lessons we want to
Yeah,
take away with.
sure. You don't have to. If you translate it directly, it's not going to make sense to you. So you cannot translate it direct translation. So
Yeah.
sometimes if you uses this online translation for a whole paragraph or on an essay, typical Chinese will know that that was done. So their grammar, they also have their own grammar and way of arranging their stuff. So a typical Chinese will identify, like for example, this person that put Ni Shama Menzi. So if I'm not a typical Chinese, but I know this is not grammatically correct, but then as a colloquial Chinese, I can understand that this person is asking for your name or what is your name. So that's how it is. So I have my Chinese name. I can say what a John one means is Xiao Guan, what I you means is Olano. Well, it's Liberia. So I come from Liberia. So Liberia is Liberia. So they try to find a way that Liberia. So Liberia. So that's how they just try to find a way, you know.
Sounds similar, but thank you. I know it's not easy to speak Chinese to people who will not even understand you. So thank you
Uh,
for trying. I just want to let you know that I'm highly impressed by that. To be honest, I think the only language I'm even willing to consider learning is Spanish, but that's because I had an interest in it when I was much younger. And
oh,
Spanish to me is much easier to learn, and I love the language and culture. So every other language, however, I feel like it's rocket science. So I really respect you and the other Liberians who are able to go out there and not just get a degree, but learn a language as well that's going to stay with you for the rest of your life. So kudos to you, my man. Now, for
sure.
the next few minutes, we just want to give you the platform. Imagine your young self, is what I like to tell people. The young you still in Liberia, still trying to think about your ambitions, what you want to do, how you want to get there. Imagine that person is watching this video. What would you say to them?
So the young man or a young person or the young adult, or probably an adult watching and wondering how they can take that change or uh, that bold step in making a difference in their career or their life. I think number one is, I'll share this story. Sometimes even here in China, some people will say, "Oh, Olano is a pastor because he don't drink, he don't smoke." So they say, "Oh, he's a pastor." But then the community that I came from a Nuku town. So if you hear about Liberia and you hear about Nuku town, you also compare it with West Point and maybe Cloud Town. This is a slums community. So coming out from this environment and still making, pushing out every day and making a difference is something that is a story that can be displayed to anyone. Because the environment alone, if you hear about it, many of you would think, oh, there's nothing, almost like people thinking about Liberia. Those that are not Liberians thinking about Liberia to be probably a graveyard or a war site, or maybe somewhere that is very poor, or people there are so suffering. So if even people in Liberia would think about Newtown and West Point, they don't even think about anything good about these regions. But then if you are in probably these areas, or probably you are in anywhere in Liberia or in Africa, and you are thinking about how you can make that, you can improve your life. I think you also try to, you need to set a goal, know what you want to do. And if you don't have that environment of pushing yourself, try to find someone that in that area. Be humble. Be humble. Sometimes you might receive insults, you might receive backlashes from people or from that person, but you will have an aim. You want to learn something from that person. So be humble. If you go to the person say, "Oh, maybe you want to be a musician or you want to record your music," but the person have a studio. The person say, "Oh, go and buy me kobo, go and buy me rice, or go and do this something for me. Go and wash my clothes." You are doing these things because you having an aim. You are targeting something. That tomorrow, if you learn how to produce music, or if you learn about that computer, now it's about you. You learn about it now, you can be able to make that change in your life. Because for one fact, you don't have the first thing, you don't have the money or the resources to go to the school or to have that environment. So the person that have it, try to connect with them. Be humble. Always seek advice and guidance from people that are into that area. Sometimes we try to put a competition. If you don't know something, it's very simple for you to ask and learn. Let's forget about this bigotry or this big hat. If you don't know something, always ask. Because if you put up an affront that you know when you don't know, it's not helpful for you, it's not beneficial for you. So for the young me or someone out there who wanting to push their life, I think you first have to know what you want. Identify who you are and what you want to do in life. If you don't have that, if you don't have that, try to find someone, maybe a big brother or someone in the community, and just sit with them and say, "Oh, I want to tell you, I want to explain something to you, big brother or big sister or auntie or uncle. I've been feeling like I always developed this passion for maybe for softwares, but I don't know how can I go about it. I don't know how can I go about it. So can you maybe tell me what can I do?" Maybe that person has been in it before, or probably they know someone else. So you ask them, "Can you tell me what to do?" I think this brother, Golden King Rogers, he's a friend of mine. He's online here. He used to operate an internet cafe at Point Four Junction. You know, sometimes he's very good. He's a very good friend of mine. We become friends from there, and then we expanded into something bigger. At the time, I was still in school, but I have that passion for developing or my interest for computer science. So I used to be at a cafe almost every time, almost every night. I would be at a cafe. Sometimes he would even give me free time to browse. So that's one way that I have pushed myself. The way I started, I used to go to, there was a cafe that I was operating later on in Yucatan. I used to go to that place to browse in the night or during the day. So when I go there, I try to help other people that will come in the cafe to browse or to solve the night. So I try to help them. I try to help them. And I was doing that. The person who had the cafe, that person was monitoring what I was doing. I don't know the person, or I was not doing it for the person, but I was helping the people that came into the place to browse. So because I had prior knowledge, so I try to help other people around. And while helping them, the guy who had the cafe said, "Oh, he want me now to start working there." So that was how everything about my life just take a total change. Because when I started working, I was in school, and so grateful for me. I call this man my father and my mentor in this computer thing. Though he's not on Facebook, he don't use social media. I don't know, it's something else. He's called Father Doe, Austin Doe. Whatever he is, I just want to be grateful to him. I was in school, but then because he saw the passion and the honesty and the determination into me, so he permitted me to still be in school at the same time working at the cafe. So after school, I will come and work at the cafe, try to do what I can do, leave from there, go home, study, next day go to school, and all of that. So find people that are into what you want to do, be humble, reach out to them, explain your story to them. If they can help you, they might know someone that can help you. Many of our young people, we are not making ourselves available or vulnerable to learn. We are from a family that do not have. So let us, find people that are making progress. There are a lot of people around us that, because we have not even set that mindset, we have not even identified what we want to do. So somebody who's making progress in your discipline or what you want to do, that person is just around you, maybe passing every day. You don't know.
Right.
But if you put up the time to say, "Oh, I want to do this thing," and you ask people, they will show you who's into that thing. And if you get to that person, you explain, that person can be able to guide you, they can be able to push you, and all of that. So for me, if you reach out to me and you want to learn about computer and stuff, I can take you from whatever path and whatever thing I can take you from to put you in that position you want to be. So for whosoever out there wanting to do any other thing, find that person. For me, if you want to do anything technology or computer science related, I'm all on Facebook, on whatever places you can find me. Reach out to me at any point in time. I will guide you in whatever process you want to do, and then maybe with time you can see how fast or how far you can go. There is one guy that I'm mentoring. He really have that passion of computer science. So one of the speakers, who at the time when I was in Liberia working with eHealth Africa, he was one of the company's trainer. So even when I left the company, he used to come to Liberia. Even now, he'll be in Liberia, I think, this month to conduct training. So there were some people um, that student who's considered me as a mentor. He wanted to take part in that international certification program, but he never had the money. So because of me, I was able to put him on a slot of mine to waive what I could have received, just so that he could learn. So it was not about him paying me. You don't have the money to pay me, or you don't have, whatever it is for me. But he have the passion to learn, and he's a very smart kid. So I see him like that, and I was willing to help him at any point in time to achieve what he wanted to achieve. I think we have to just let go of this bigotry, let go of this pride, and just be humble and submit ourselves to a mentor, also submit ourselves to people that are making impact, and they can be able to help us out there.
So be
I've been through it, and I think it worked for me.
right, right. So don't try to reinvent the wheel. If you already know something that worked, just go with it and
Sure,
save some time and some headaches. So thank
sure.
you. A lot of wise words, my man. Really grateful to have you on the show today. You've added great value to the conversations. So uh, definitely in the future, we'll keep following you. Anything else, if you would like to come on the platform, maybe there's a specific thing that you guys are doing, and you would like to put it out there. Of course, this platform is open to you as well. But thank you for the time. And then for everyone else watching, you've been watching the 1847 show. I've been your host, Prince Lamin Jarbo. This was season 1, episode 15, which is part of our series called Digitalized Liberia. And this series is going to highlight individuals solving real problems by integrating technological solutions, just like Mr. Bloh, who is the CEO and founder of TIA Innovative Tech. So to watch upcoming episodes, please don't forget to follow our social media channels. And until next time, God bless you and God bless Mama Liberia. Take care.
Hello, my name is Baba, founder of Destiny Creative Organization, and owner at Janice Snacks. You are watching the 1847 show. The 1847 show celebrates you, me, and all things Liberian. Follow the 1847 show on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube. The 1847 show, all things Liberian.
Hi guys, I'm Levine and I'm an independent artist from Liberia, West Africa. And being an independent artist means I get to run my own affairs, sponsor my own music, pick my own release dates. So, not to waste your time, I'm gonna go straight to the point. I'm trying to raise $5,000 to promote 2 songs over a 3-month time span. And I'm asking that you help out in any way you can. One of the songs are playing in the background right now, so that means you're one of the first persons to hear this. The proceedings are not just going to go to the promotion of these songs, it's going to go to helping the underprivileged in any way I can. And everything is going to be filmed and posted on my social media. So please help out. Thank you.
You got something that I need. You bring light to my soul. Nobody does it like I do. You already know.